Good morning. It's now 8 o'clock on Bank Holiday Monday morning, the 27th of May, and I think it's time for a quick spin around the allotment. To be fair, there's not a lot changed since you were on here last week. A lot of work's been done, but it's planting seeds, etc., tidying up, and general bits and pieces. The one major thing you will see as we go along is all the horrendous grass I had on the allotment has now been trimmed. That was done on Saturday, and it took me nearly 3.5 hours just to trim the grass, to show you how much of it there was and how hard picking was to do. Anyway, starting off with potatoes as we always do. They're coming up wonderfully. They were earthed up yesterday, as you can see. Oh, my shadow, sorry. First row and a half is Bambino. I've got half a row of Pentland Javelin, a row of Salad Blue, a row of Casablanca. Now Casablanca and Pentland Javelin are first earlies, but the main crop at the back are flying away. 3 rows of Anya and 1 row of Marish Piper. Let's go down to the buckets. Right, the buckets have all been earthed up as well. A couple of Marish Piper at the front. Now again, this one is also Marish Piper, and there's 3 potatoes in there, only one showing. God knows why, because it's the same potato, same soil, virtually the same position, and nothing happening. At the back there I've got 3 buckets of Anya. Again, the bucket on the outside is not doing as well. I'm wondering if it's because it gets colder there. I just don't know. I really don't know. Then at the back, got 2 buckets of Bambino here. Then 2 buckets of Salad Blue, where the foliage is slightly darker. 2 buckets of Casablanca at the back, and finally 2 buckets of Pentland Javelins. All coming up wonderfully, but obviously these at the front are doing the best because they've been in the longest, and hopefully they will do very nicely for me. Now, fruit beds, nothing new happening there. I've got some new strawberries and a marjoram plant, you can see at the far side. Got those from a plant sale in Upper Mill yesterday, so the strawberries are going to go in to replace some that I've lost, and the marjoram is just a lovely plant I like anyway. The rhubarb has finished, recovered rather, from the battering the wind gave it. The wind was coming from right to left as you're looking at it now, and all the rhubarb leaves were bent over and upside down facing the direction of the wind. Now they've all recovered and they're doing quite well. So the one at the front of Victoria, and I think I'll be taking some off that next weekend. I had some off the rhubarb at home last weekend and it was very nice, and it was absolutely huge. The sticks were about 2 inches across, and it was so big that 3 sticks made a crumble for 8 of us. It was that much. So anyway, as you can see over this side of the potatoes, the grass has been trimmed down and is gone. I'll give you a long shot of the actual allotment itself. You can actually see a bit better now where it is. Everything where the grass is trimmed is mine. A lot to do on there yet. Now, the square foot gardening bed. I strung that all out last weekend, and I've now got plants in there. Got some Lolo Rosso lettuce, which are just put in yesterday. Look a bit sorry for themselves at the moment, but they'll perk up with a bit of water. Then I've got 2 lots of onions with 9 onions in each square. They're Sturon onions. 4 more lettuce in that one, salad in. I only put 4 in that because that's a proper foot. I put 6 in that because that's like 18 inches by a foot. So, because of the way they made the beds, they were 10 foot long with 3 inches of wood at either end, so I couldn't quite get the full feet out of them. Some more onions there. Then at the bottom I've got various things in. I've got some radish, some beans, can't think what else I've got in there. Some silver skin onions, some spring onions, a few bits and pieces in there, and the spinach beet, or perpetual spinach, is doing really well. It's starting to bolt, so I'm having to cut the tops off it, which keeps it going. It did this last year as well, so not a problem. And the purple sprouting, I've taken the netting off, the cloche off today, so you can actually see what's underneath here. It's probably coming towards the end of its life now, this purple sprouting. It's been chopped and chopped and chopped. I've had about 4 lots off it, but it's still going strong, so while it produces, I'll keep eating it. Right. Some more spinach beets here, some comfrey, and then some onions that are left over from last year. And there's a red one there, it's looking absolutely huge. I'm dying to see what that's like when it comes out. It turned out to be nothing on the end of it, just lots of leaves, but still. This bed, got my spring cabbages in at the front, and they are very nice and sweet. Some purple sprouting at the back, some which is starting to go to flower by the looks of it, so I'll have to trim that off. And then here we have some collies. You can see that properly, but it's just starting to form heads, and there's one there as well. And I think there must be one in the middle of this lot somewhere, but I can't see it. And there must be some on the other side, because there's a few plants in here which are collies. So I'm quite impressed with these. I've never grown cauliflowers before. Now the head looks like it's not forming a tight, compact bunch. So maybe that's because these are last year's plants which have overwintered, because they were only tiny things when they were put in. If that's right, then I'll just eat it like broccoli. Not have a problem with that, I can still get eaten. Right. Underneath the netting, and you can see that in there properly. Lots of brassicas, fairly slug munched before I got the pellets down. Since then there's not been a problem, and they should be okay there. Got some broad beans in here. I'm going to plant some more broad beans in between these as well, because I think these are too wide spaced at the moment. I'm going to put runner beans on the far side, and then there'll be another bed on the other side of there which is being built this week, and that's where the runner beans are going to go from both sides, from this side to the other, with some canes over the top. As you can see, devastation of trimmed grass everywhere. This is all going to be raked up, but I'm not doing it today because I've not got a lot of time down here today. Have a wander over to the polytunnel. Now this was a minor disaster on Friday. So I came down on Friday after work to find that this side of the polytunnel was halfway up the frame. The wind, which is blowing towards it from this side, had just lifted the whole thing up and was basically trying to rip the frame off. The cover off the frame. It hadn't done it because it's tied down on the inside and it's fastened down, etc. And it's guy ropes, as you can see. The problem is that the winds have been so bad that one of the guy ropes has ripped completely off. Just completely pulled it through. The material itself is still okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch that back together with the guy rope attachment inside. And there's a little bit there that's gone through. I don't know if you can see that properly. That's where it's rubbed and pulled. That's going to be taped up inside and out. That bit's going to be stitched and taped with the guy rope attached. I'm going to stitch it around the frame as well, sort of hold it a bit tighter. But it did its job, it held the whole thing together. Unfortunately, when the wind was blowing hard on this side, one thing it did do, give me a second, in the polytunnel, my little poly within a poly had been blown over. Now fortunately, very fortunately, my chair was not quite where it is now, it's further over to the left a little bit, and it acted as a prop to keep the whole thing from going flat on the ground. I lost all the stuff on the top, everything came out, the tomatoes, the seeds, the herb seeds, etc. But everything else was fine. One of the tomatoes actually landed right way up, balanced on the arm of the chair. How it did that I don't know. I couldn't do it again if I tried. But I scooped pretty much all the rest of it together. Some of the herb seeds may have got mixed up, but I think I got most things back in the right pots. And my tomatoes are down there on the floor at the moment behind the rubbish. So they're going to get potted up into bigger pots. One's already in a bigger pot. And my walking onion is doing absolutely wonderful at the top. We've got tendrils and all sorts going everywhere. Very pleased with that one. I must get it out in a bed instead of leaving it in the polytunnel, but it's doing so well I don't want to disturb it so much. A lot of the onions from in here have gone outside, as you've seen. There's 2 dozen of them out there. Just over, I think it's 27 I think I've got out altogether, 3 9s. In here I've got peas, runner beans, and only 2 sweet corn still, so I've re-sown the sweet corn in there because I dug in and found that the corn actually rotted inside, hadn't sprouted. So I've redone those and hopefully they'll come out okay. On this side, shallots waiting for home, herbs, lettuce. A little gem at the front here are going to be proper lettuces before I get them out. I really should get those out, but the germination rate on these has been pretty poor because there were 3 or 4 seeds in each of these modules, and I've only got 3 in total out of about 12 seeds. So whether I'm planting them too deep or whatever, I don't really know. I'm going to try again with those and see how we do. So Swiss chard at the back that needs to go out fairly soon. Some coriander there, I'm going to leave that in there for a bit and then plant the whole plug when it gets deep and big enough. Now on there we've got some parsley coming at the back and some chervil in the middle. They're pretty much ready for going out fairly soon, so next week they'll be out. Then down in the bottom down there, I've got 1 solid cucumber at the back. Now again I've planted 4 cucumbers, only one's come up. I've got 1 pumpkin there which hasn't been planted on yet. and another zucchini at the front. So one thing I should be okay for this time is going to be pumpkins and courgettes, because I've got a few of those around. They were another thing that got thrown out, and I don't know what the labels are, or where the labels have gone for them. So I've got 2 zucchinis, a pumpkin mammoth, and an East Laurent pumpkin in the planters, and they've not got any labels on anymore. So it's going to just look as to what goes where, to be honest. Now the potatoes in the bags in the polytunnel are absolutely flying up compared to everything else. Must be the heat in here that's doing them wonders. This one is Casablanca, which is the first early, and that one is Pendleton Javelin, which is another first early. So hopefully these will be ready the first, as the first earlies, and should be getting some nice potatoes out of them probably in about 6 weeks, I think, maybe a bit more. Anyway, plans for today. Now, because I was having problems on this side of the polytunnel, because as you can see it's not fastened down anywhere, I'm going to get the frame, get the cover pulled tight over this side and build a bed on the front of here, which is going to come, to the side rather, which is going to trap the excess fabric underneath it and come 2 foot out and join on with a bed which is going to run around the back of the polytunnel, down the back of the decking and up to the edge of the pond over there. Pond is slowly filling as the rain comes along. I've not put any more water in it myself. I'm letting nature fill it for me because it's just too much lugging to get the water down there. There's probably in there now somewhere in the region of 200 litres of water. I put about 50 litres in to start it, and it's rained a lot since, so hopefully it'll keep on going and give us a bit more rain at least to fill that up. We need the rain as gardeners, we love it. One bad thing, at the back of here when I was trimming, I found that it was absolutely totally infested with horsetail. So when I put the beds down, I'm going to put 3 layers of cardboard in it, not just the usual one. I'm going to put 3. Might slow it down a little bit and give my plants a chance to get established. So I'm going to put fruit bushes in the back of there. I'm going to put some gooseberries at the back of here, and at the back of the polytunnel itself, possibly blackcurrants, possibly raspberries. I really don't know at the moment. I'm going to make mine up as and when I get the plants, to be honest, and see how we do. But this back end of the plot is absolutely infested with horsetail. It's everywhere. All I can do is just keep cutting it back and cutting it back. There's no point trying to dig it out because it goes so deep, and see how it goes. Leeks are doing well on the far side. You can see them from here. They're the ones I got from David. They all seem to be standing upright. They all seem to be doing fine. The garlic at the front is doing fantastic, and I've got 2 older leeks at the back which are probably going to come out, or 3 older leeks rather. They're probably going to come out fairly soon. These onions, this bed should have been absolutely full of onions, but these didn't overwinter at all. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 17 out of about 120 that are left. They're not doing well at all. There's horsetail coming through at the top end of this bed as well, as you can see in that corner, but, well, not good. Anyway, enough of me talking for now. I'm going to get on with this bed that goes down the side of the polytunnel, around the back of the polytunnel and the decking. I'm getting some more boards from Diane for that. Thank you very much, Diane. And I'll get on with it. See you later when I've had something to show you. Hi, welcome back. It's now about 11:15 on Monday morning. I've been busy with the framing and a couple of other bits and pieces. I'll just give you a quick run round as to where I've got to so far. I put a frame alongside the polytunnel, and this is going to be a 2 foot wide bed eventually, and the black plastic will be coming up, the weed fabric, and I'll be making a bed there with a small patch just this side of it. That's where I'm going to be digging through my drainage trench, but not got around to that yet. Now the bed there is connected to another frame around the back, which goes around the back of the decking, which is all fastened to it, and eventually I'm going to have a bed which is going to run the length of here and continue on down that way to the end of the plot. It may not be continuous, I'm not certain yet, but that's where it's got to. This piece of wood on the right isn't supported yet, it's just in place to give me an idea of where I'm up to and what I've got to do. Now down at the bottom bit here, also put a piece of wood alongside the decking. The final decking board isn't fastened down yet because I'm waiting for all the rest of the expansion of the boards to finish. At the moment I'm getting huge gaps because they were obviously very wet when I bought them. put them down with just one screw at either end, just to hold them for now. But I've got lots and lots of large gaps there, much larger than they ought to be. So I'm going to wait till they settle down, and then I'm going to tighten them all up again. Then I'll cut the final piece on the end and put that in place. Around the pond itself, I'm going to have a wooden frame, which is going to be about a foot high, and give me a framework on the top, which are going to have decking boards, the same as the ones on the decking itself, so they'll match, possibly about 3 deck boards wide, to give an overlap into the pond. You have to make some channels through for the frogs, what have you. Probably do it at that end where the pile is, to be honest, where the slate is coming out of the pond, so they can get out and get in. Once they find the way, they'll be fine. And one other thing that I finished off today, I'll just go and show you, is I've used my new roll of fabric netting, scaffold debris netting, to cover over one of my new beds. Well, not new beds, but with a frame, wood piece on top to hold it stable, so they don't fold in, which is slightly different to that one, but I'll do that one again later. Anyway, that's enough for now because I've got to get off, so speak to you later.